Let me know how it ends.
Paul, it is such a pleasure to meet you, and I loved watching this film in a packed Utah theater, no less.
I
You're
love it.
single-handedly bringing sexy back to our state, so I appreciate that.
There you go. My pleasure. I shot a movie there once, and then I was in a movie that shot there once. So I love Salt Lake. There was a movie called Unaccompanied Minors back in 2006, and it was like a Christmas movie about kids trapped in an airport. So yeah, we were all over Salt
Oh,
Lake.
Utah loves you. I was watching this and I was with the crowd of people, right? And I was thinking, you know, we've got Avatar coming out last week, and we have these event films, but I would argue this is just as much as an event film as the others. So what is Hollywood missing as far as like pitching this to audiences? Why do you think it's an event film?
Well, thanks, Patrick. I appreciate that. I think it's an event. I agree with you because, I engineer my movies to be for an audience, like an audience of people together. I do tons of test screenings when we're editing the movie to see what works and what doesn't and what's getting a reaction from people. And so I think an event is something that people interact with. I don't like audiences to sit there passively, sort of chewing their popcorn and watching the movies. I want them to be leaning forward. I want them to scream and to laugh and to gasp and just kind of hide their eyes sometimes. So I think it's really about making movies that a group of people together in a movie theater can have a great time watching.
Totally agreed. And there was a lot of reactions in my theater for it. It was
Good.
great. About the adaptation, so I got a lot of questions about the book, and people were loving that you were adapting this. But what do you do when you're looking at the fans that maybe don't know anything about the book and the people that are looking for very specific things? Do you feel that a film adaptation is more of an interpretation, or are you trying to do it as close to it as you can?
Well, it's both, really, because you have source material. It's one thing if a book is just kind of like some people know it. It's another when a book has been on the bestseller list for 2 years. That's something people are very passionate about. And so I want to make sure that they get the experience that they want from the book, but I also want to give them extra. I want to put things in that aren't in the book that don't subvert the book, but just add to it. And we were able to add like a whole extra ending that's not in the book that Frida McFadden, the author, said she thinks the movie is actually better than the book, which is great. But at the same time, you also want people who haven't read the book to have a full experience. So I always say, because people go like, I have to read the book first. I'm like, I said, go buy the book, then watch the movie, have all the fun of the twists and turns, and then read the book and see where it came from.
Was there anything in the book that you were like, I absolutely have to make sure that I get this particular thing right?
Yeah, no spoilers. Let's just say it involves a pair of
Mm.
players.
You're so unique with making these type of genre films that I don't think we see too much. What do you think is the trick to making them so approachable to people and not like us being in Utah, if our families came to something like this, there'd be a little squeamish, but it
Right.
seems to work.
Yeah, you have to bring, even though it's a very dark story with some very dark themes in it, you have to bring the fun to it, which sounds weird, but it's not making fun of the dark things in it. It's having fun with how people are getting in and out of situations and how they're reacting to situations and how you make the audience lust for payback and how much they can enjoy the payback. And so that's where the fun comes in while making sure to treat everything else completely seriously and play it very close to the bone.
What would you say is taking it too seriously? Like, were there examples where it's like, maybe we went a little bit too far on this. Let's make it a little fun.
It's in, again, it's so hard to say without any spoilers. It's just sort of like what we're making you root for that you shouldn't root for. So you're having fun going like, yay, that person, something bad happened to that person. They deserved it. And then you're later found out like, oh, actually, no, I shouldn't have rooted for that. That's fun. And then it's just also like, the retribution that happens once you've realized a character is so terrible that you're like, okay, I want everything bad to happen to that person.
For future films, are we sticking with this? Are you going to be like, is this your Knives Out basically, where we're going to keep doing these types of genre bending thrillers that everybody can relate to and have fun with?
I mean, I love doing them. All I watch is thrillers, so it's kind of my bread and butter as far as what I enjoy to watch. But I jump genres all the time, there's so many genres I want to play in. I would love to do a musical. I'd love to do a sci-fi epic. I'd love to do a western. But yeah, so I'm kind of case by case. But I definitely would like to make more thrillers because I think they're fun. Because as a comedy guy, like with a thriller, you get not only the thrills and the audience invested in things, but there's chances to have fun like Hitchcock did. I mean, if you watch, North by Northwest, it's as funny as it is suspenseful and scary. Like a movie like Weapons this year is very much in that same genre. And Zach Kreger, who did that, is a comedy guy too. He comes from the comedy world like I do. So I think we're just doubling up on our response from the audience. We get the screams and the investment, but we also get the laughs after that.
Oh, totally. Well, I will be sat for whatever genre you end up doing.
Nice.
Thank you again, Paul. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. I really appreciate it. And then hello, Salt Lake City. I miss you terribly.